of the SmartCrete Cooperative Research Centre. Welcome back to Clinker Chat. Today's talk is particularly interesting. We're here at Paintback HQ, which is on the Bunurong lands. And I'm here with John Ferraro, who's the CEO of Paintback. Great to have you today.
Thanks for having me, Claire. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, so as you know, Clinker Chat is a conversation that we have with innovators in the space talking about pathways to sustainability and decarbonisation for the construction sector. And I think Paintback really exemplifies that as a business. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
So Paintback was founded about 9 years ago by the 5 biggest paint companies in Australia. They came together and formed the stewardship organisation, which was certainly industry-led, looking at diverting all the paint and packaging that they put out onto the Australian market away from landfill and our precious waterways. We've been around for 9 years, as I said, and collected 65 million kilos of paint and packaging in the time we've been around.
Wow. So I think fundamentally we all understand that waste paint is a problem. I mean, we're all told don't put it in the garbage, you have to treat it really properly. But can you explain to me, what is the problem? What are we trying to tackle here?
Well, obviously it's got chemicals in it. And the important thing is that what we've seen through our R&Ds is those chemicals have great value. So if we can collect it responsibly and run R&D projects and commercialise some of those products, we can give back to the recycling that Australians are looking to do at the moment, and put it into brand new products. Potentially, it could be paint as paint. It could be with the project that we're doing with SmartCrete and Swinburne around concrete. So, we're fascinated with the properties that is within paint, adhesives, primers, all those types of things, and what we could take the valuable components and then put it back into new materials.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so great to think that what we might just see as a waste product that's sitting in the back shed at the moment potentially has so much value that could be added to future construction materials. So can you give me a bit of an idea about what that actually looks like? If I personally at home were to collect all of the waste paint and pop it in one of your collection facilities, where does it go from there?
Well, we have 165 drop-off facilities across all of Australia. We're in every state and territory. And importantly, 85% of the population of Australia can have easy access to drop that off at one of the sites, and it's a free drop-off service. What happens from there is that it gets collected by a freight company and brought back to Pace HQ, where we separate the liquid from the packaging, be it plastic or metal, and that liquid is then treated and ready to go back into different products. The plastic and the metal is cleaned as well. So the metal gets fully recycled, and plastic, we're working with different partners to create plastic rigid packaging. The one that we've progressed the most is this 4-litre multi-purpose pot that is ranged in some retail sectors, but working with our paint member company as well to get it back into their packaging.
Wow, that's incredible. So you're telling me that this has actually come from the waste packaging from previous paint tins?
It certainly has, yes. 100% from that plastic that we collect.
Yeah, that's amazing. What a demonstration of the circular economy at work.
Yeah.
So in terms of recovery rate, I hear that you have some very high percentages in terms of what you can actually recover from the material that you source.
Yeah, our recovery rate, our stretch recovery rate is certainly close to 90% or above. And the reality is that the industry that we were using beforehand couldn't get to that level, and the investment in R&D that we make and partners that we like to work with, we had to build this facility so that we can then recover above 90%, and we're well and truly on our way.
That's incredible. And a leading standard, I think, across the recovery sector. I'd be surprised to hear if other, recycle-focused organisations are able to achieve such high levels. Yeah. So can you give us a bit of an idea of what actually happens when it comes here to your factory?
Yeah, so we have a sorting line where operators make an assessment around what type of paint it is, be it plastic, a container or a metal container. Is it solvent-based paint or is it water-based paint? And then once we've separated into the different types of paint, it goes through a machine called a Rooney where they extract the paint out of the packaging itself. So the paint will then move to blending tanks where we will filter it and get any large pieces of material out, ready for whatever the next stage of its life might be. And then the plastic actually gets shredded and washed so that the paint comes off it, and it's in a size of plastic packaging ready for the plastic industry to form new products.
Fantastic. And can you tell us about what some of those other new products are that you're working on?
A couple of projects that we're working on is paint into paint. So interestingly enough, when we look at the paint we can produce, once it goes through our machines, it's very good quality paint. Certainly for exterior applications, and we're working with multiple organisations around that. There's the SmartCrete project that we're working on, and we're so enthusiastic around the outcomes that we're seeing with all the partners involved. We're also working with other providers in the market, industrial applications, be it adhesive providers or bonding agents, those types of things. Also applications with respect to surfaces. So we have 10 active R&D projects, which might seem like a lot considering we're only collecting paint, but importantly to us is that we want to have a breadth of different projects to really understand where our paint can go, so that the circular nature of our products and the industry that we're in continues and evolves all the time.
That is so great to hear. And I think it's fantastic to hear that the business is really built around innovation. How do you get innovation done here?
Well, I think it starts from our vision, and our vision is really clear. We worked a long time ago at what we're about, and we're really focusing on ingeniously building a better future with unwanted paint and packaging that we collect in Australia. So when we have a really clear vision and mission, we can go out and find like-minded partners. So it might be CRCs like yourself, universities, and industrial partners. So we have a strong R&D committee that we meet with 4 times a year, and they're from industry experts, where they look at the types of products we collect and some of the value and benefit that exists in the paint or the packaging. And then we go and find partners, or partners come and find us. So we actively then create a pathway. We run a stage gate process. Some projects last only a few months, others many years, considering the science that goes into it. And then the applications have to have lab scale, and then we move it up to field trials. So yeah.
Fantastic. So you have this really fantastic purpose-built new facility. Would you say that most of the innovation is happening out there on the floor?
We were lucky to work with Deakin University in Geelong, where we had a pilot plant. So we tested a lot of the theory of this plant at Deakin University. But what has happened behind us is that we have created a world-first paint recovery facility. So nowhere in the world does the technology behind us exist, to the point where we can then start producing products ready for the market and other supply chains. How did we come up with the project itself? Well, we traveled the world to find the best technology and put that all together. And we're really proud of what Pace HQ does. So the throughput of the plant every day can produce 19,000 kilos of paint, 3,000 kilos of plastic, and 5,000 kilos of steel. And we're really proud of those statistics. It ensures that all the paint we collect can be clean, homogeneous, and ready for its next life.
Wow, that is incredible. And so phenomenal that innovation is happening here in Australia. Great to hear. So can I turn to what really excites us at SmartCrete CRC, which is how we're moving towards decarbonisation of the concrete sector. And what's really exciting about Paintback and the partnership that we have is thinking about how different sectors can support each other towards our sustainable decarbonisation targets. So can you tell me a little bit about the project that we're running together, looking at how those materials extracted from waste latex paint potentially enhance a concrete mix?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we've been working with the SmartCrete for many years now. We've welcomed all the support, and Swinburne, of course. So importantly, when we looked at paint and all of the properties within paint, we really wanted to understand, if it was added to concrete, what were the benefits of it. And the early trials and simulations that we've done with Swinburne and SmartCrete has shown that certainly at high SEM concrete, there's benefits that they include porosity, shrinkage rates, whilst maintaining strength. So importantly, they're key fundamental KPIs, part of concrete, and we've got some industrial partners that are certainly interested in looking at trials with that.
The results that we're seeing in this project are truly inspiring and really do talk to the power of collaboration in terms of how we address some of these targets. And I think what, for me personally, has been very inspiring about this is thinking about all of the additive benefits that we have from using a very value-added product in that concrete mix. So in no way is this about finding a waste reduction solution by sort of hiding paint in concrete. The benefits that we've been able to demonstrate through this project really talk to the fact that we can use higher supplementary cementitious material concrete mixes and drive that decarbonisation agenda for the sector.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, all of our projects, Claire, are based upon not finding a sinkhole for the things that we collect. They certainly have to add value to whatever material products they put into. And the high SEM is a really good example. Paint going into paint, or the plastic making new plastic pails. You can see that everything we do is about higher order and going up the resource recovery triangle.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So you do a lot of work at Paintback, with local councils, with governments. Can you tell us a couple of stories about the types of work that you've done in and around our communities?
Yeah, the best example is that we've turned paint into paint. We worked with the City of Melbourne because they have a graffiti problem. They came to us and we worked with them, and we were successfully able to cover 600 square metres of a facade in the City of Melbourne that was heavily hit by graffiti. And we worked with the contractor and the painting contractor, and by all accounts, they were really happy with the work. A couple of the outcomes was that full coverage, we only had to use one coat of paint. Typically, they would have had to use multiples. And by using one coat of paint, they didn't have to. It was done on a car park, multi-level car park. And that meant that there was less high-level access required, less disruption to traffic. So we're seeing some really good benefits with all the councils we're working with, as well as other painting contractors that have used it throughout the state of Victoria so far.
That's fantastic. So John, tell me, what does the next 5 to 10 years look like for Paintback?
Well, importantly, the plant's only new, right? So over the next sort of 6 to 12 months, we want to make sure that we embed it down, it runs well. And importantly, we want to make sure that paint then goes to the markets that we're investigating and the supply chains that we're so enthused by. So that's probably the next year or so. After that, we want to continue to look at other R&D collaborations. As I mentioned, Claire, we've got 10. Some of those are only just begun, others are concluding. So that is always at the heart of what we do. And we will continue to do that for a long time in the future. Importantly, because it's a world first of what we're doing with our new manufacturing facility, certainly want to give back to other like-minded organisations across the world to share what we've done so that paint can be recovered in other worldwide locations. As I said, we're a stewardship organisation, so as stewards of collecting paint, we want to make sure that other communities across the world have the access of what we've learnt so far.
That's fantastic and so inspiring to know that Australia is leading on this front. Yeah. So John, our project together is being led by your General Manager for Research and Development, Rachael Roberts. Could you tell us a bit about her role?
So Rachel's been with us for a bit over 2 years now, and has fantastic experience both at industry level, at council level, and at Sustainability Victoria. So she brings a really broad range of understanding around waste and how to move it up the resource recovery. And she's working on these 10 projects with the RDC. She brings a high level of leadership and excellence to our business.
Fantastic. I'm excited to see more. Over to you, Rachael.
I'm here at Swinburne University in Melbourne, where we're working with Swinburne and SmartCrete CRC to develop a paint additive for concrete. Paintback has been working with Swinburne University and SmartCrete CRC for several years now on incorporating wastewater-based paint into concrete. Through this project, we've identified some really incredible benefits that are very unique. These benefits include maintaining the durability, increasing the carbonation resistance of concrete, including low carbon concrete, increasing sorptivity, and also maintaining the air that's entrained in concrete to Australian standards. I'm here with our lead researcher, Nan. He's here to tell us a bit about the concrete sample he's holding and the work he's been completing over the last couple of years. Nan, tell us about this sample.
Yeah, actually, this is not a traditional concrete. Actually, we add a 10-liter cubic meter concrete we spent in this sample. So you can see the color is same with the normal, but actually, when we add waste paint, durability increase a lot, especially for shrinkage and carbonation resistance.
Wonderful. Thanks, Nan. And we've really appreciated your work over the last couple of years.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Now that the project is coming to an end and we're moving to the next stage around commercialization and field trials, we're really excited to see what happens next, particularly in the space of low carbon concrete, with our innovation being able to unlock wider adoption in Australia.
Wasn't that fantastic? Thank you so much, Rachel, for that time. Thanks for the conversation today, John. It's inspiring to see the great work that's happening in Australia to really drive this resource recovery agenda, and we look forward to seeing what you do in the future.
Thanks very much for your time today, Claire.